going to be a concept that grows in between that. Yes. But if you can just dwell on what you're not, and then you find out whatever you want to call what you are, it's a much smoother, cleaner uh, state. So here it's saying, we have heard a very similar description earlier, but it was not of you. So everything that can be described is not of you. Yeah, because you're indescribable. Yeah. Like when I learned when I was a kid with the Godhead in Catholicism was it's omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. So it's all knowing, all powerful, and everywhere. But in a sense, that which is indescribable can't be described. Yeah. But what can be described, what is describable can be described, and what we're not is describable. Yeah. So we use the opposite of the impossible to understand, and we see that which it impossible for it to understand. So we understand that which cannot understand. Yeah. So that which wants to understand something that it can never understand, we have an understanding of that. We understand I'm not that. And you also understand uh, the limitations of where you believe to be living or this event. You're sort of one way defined as the body, but there's many more definitions. Yeah. Yeah. That are ceilings and walls in a way. And when you hit a ceiling, usually it's still a ceiling. Yeah. In the programming. So it's the wisdom is realizing you can't get out of what you're not in instead of constantly trying to get out of what you're not in. Yes. So the ceiling, with this understanding, you see the ceiling differently. The limitations of what you're not is very, very liberating to the sense of what you are. Yeah. Or there'll be a liberation of it. Let's not say anything's having it, but you get liberated from the demands of the head to be more than you can be. Yes. Yeah, so you can't look as far as it wants to look. You can't understand what it wants you to understand. Yeah. And you come to peace in there. The system is not against itself. Yeah. 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 It's such a relief. This is one of the basic planks of traveling lighter. The action figure has a lot of the yoke of being a subjective object has been lifted. So you've lost the subjective weight has been lifted, and now there's the objective experience. Yeah. Yeah. And things happen, and most of the case, actually, in every case, it's not about you. Where when we are listening to the subjective narrative of the head, it's all about you. Yeah. So if something doesn't work, it's because you're not working it or something like that. No, how are you going to recognize a failed system if you're looking through the failed system? You just can't. Yeah, because there'll be a program in the failed system not to recognize that it's failed. It would be a primary program. Yeah. Inherently, you're failed and you're going to be the last one to know, so to speak. Yeah. So that's the state of what is it you know that you don't want to know? There's a lot of knowing that the head is trying not to know. Yeah. So this is a description of that head. This is this description of what you're not. And it says very clearly, this is why I like this reading a lot. They don't vary. They don't go different ways. They stay on you. It's almost as if something that's agitated and constantly moving, something's pressing down on it. And then you really see its nature, that it's agitated, really agitated, and it doesn't let up. These two paragraphs just don't let up. They just hold you down, the you that you're not, which I love incredibly. So he says, hey, we've all heard this description earlier, but it's not of you. Yeah. So the description that they're attempting to describe to what you are is not you. Yeah. This is the spirit of it. So it says, but still this strange idea, see, it's not you, period. Let's put a period on that. Yeah. And then time creaks along, but yeah. So you know how sometimes you get it and you're trying to share it. Oh, I got this so unbelievably. And then but the world starts with but, really. So here it says, hey, this strange, it says this description earlier, but it was not of you. So we hoped by presenting this description of what you're not, that there would be a triggering, I'm not that. Yeah. So it's saying, but they're trying to remind the reader again. So heard a very similar description earlier, but it was not of you. But still, this strange idea, which it does accurately describe, you think is you. So their take is super clear, but it's still not coming through clearly. Yeah, because it's the first thing in time that meets it is the static of the head. So a very clear message can be described, and when the head believes it's the one that's hearing it, it scrambles it. Yeah. And this is what he's saying. But still, even though this description is not of you and it's super clear, but still the strange idea, which it does accurately describe, you think is you. Yeah. Now, I don't believe you think is you. I would say the thinking thinks it's you. I do not believe there's a you that's doing the not you. Yeah. I don't think there's a you that's doing the not you. I don't think there's a you, period. Yeah. I don't believe that you's doing it. I don't believe the not you's doing it. Yeah. So this is the beauty of duality. So finally, you get a description of what you're not, and then that what arises and claims to be hearing or seeing that description is also not you. This isn't so clear in some invitations. They point out very clearly the first aspect of not you, but they don't really clearly describe that immediately when there's suddenly a knowledge of what you're not, that what you're not claims to be the one who's holding that knowledge. So now it tries to run away from the little action figure and now see it like a husk. And now it's a subjective action thing going on. Yeah. So, and I don't see many descriptions clearly that is like a thumb on some like on a thumb on an acupuncture point. Yeah, they may say it and then they just go off on something, but it's nice to have it pressed. You just hold it. Yeah, and then you can feel almost when it gives up. Yeah. You ever get a massage? If you ever gotten shiatsu, someone who holds it only for a second, it's about you're meant to hold the point like for 5 or 7 seconds. Yeah, it's not like it's like and then you wait and then you go to the next one. Yeah, so this message is sort of like holding the mental balloon down. And by when it can't seem to get up in the sky and appear as a balloon, it gets deflated. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, but still, this strange idea, which it does accurately describe, you think is you. Yeah. That's the dilemma, in a sense. Yeah. This is why the message of non-duality just turns that now you don't think it's not you, you feel it's not you. The other mental reaction would be you think it's you. And now the mental reaction gets subdued, and now you have a new greeting, which is you now see it's not you. And let's see what happens. Yeah. Now you may have chapters and chapters of life that are going to come after that. But that little movement is going to determine like the spirit of the story. Yeah. If you keep calling that which is be describing so clearly you, it's going to go one way if you greet it with, hey, that's a description of what I'm not. And then you have the warning about that becoming what you're not, the one that says, yes, if you have the not to-ness, then that thing, it's sort of like the water that has been diverted goes its own way and it doesn't get diverted again. Yeah, because what happens is the fear is the water is going to go its own way. And so they have a double bind, so to speak. So now the one that there was a seeing of what you're not, and now there's a seer that was seeing what you're not, and that's also what you're not. So now the water gets diverted and it doesn't get diverted back. You have the answer, which is not two. You thought the answer would be just seeing not one, what I'm not, but no, you have to see that which is now claiming to be the seeing of that is not also. So then the water goes its own way, and then this is when you see blue is blue and red is red, and it's just things that would seem to demand thought and effort. There's no reaction with thought and effort to it. Yeah. Things are basically done in a lot of ways. And a lot of things that you thought there would be a heavy maintenance of constantly putting out the fire that relights, that's over. Yeah. Because what's relighting the fire is you trying to put it out. Yeah. So now you see the fire just dies. Yeah. And now, so you're not busy trying to put all the fires out. Yeah. You have a different view of the fires. Yeah. So, okay. Reason would tell you, all right, let's say wisdom. I rather use the word wisdom. Yeah. So wisdom, what would tell you? It's not saying Paul or Bill or Mary would tell you. It's saying wisdom would tell you. So something available right where you are without Paul, Bill, Mary, or whatever. Yeah. It doesn't say, oh, Mr. Bill's going to tell you. No, reason or wisdom would tell you. What would wisdom tell us? Yeah. Wisdom would tell you that the world you see, yeah. So we're seeing a world, yeah. We can agree with that. We call it a world, but we're seeing, yes. All right. So we're with it now. It's saying, so the world we see, now here's the little curve, through eyes that are not yours. Wow. So did you steal someone else's eyes? Obviously not. These eyes, they're just saying the eyes are not yours because you're not the action figure. So the eyes of the action figure are not yours. Yeah. Yeah. So it goes here. Reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours must make no sense to you. You do see that, and therefore there's a lot of relief from the head making sense. You know that old song by Talking Heads, "Stop Making Sense." Yeah. We're demanding it to start making sense, and it can't. So now there's a stop making sense. Or the sense it makes shows you how insane it is. Yeah, there's value in seeing it. Yeah, yeah. So reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours must make no sense to you. To whom, I love this, to whom would seeing such as this send back its messages? What do you mean, seeing such as what? Seeing such as the way of seeing a world, yeah? Seeing this place. And in the seeing of the place, there's almost as if it's complicitly agreed to that it's real, yes? And obviously I'm real and I'm seeing what's real. Yeah. But they say, whatever, you're using the eyes that are seeing this world are not yours. So you have a completely different option or vision than the eyes that see the world, readily available right now. Yeah, because it's no one else's. You don't have to wait to get it from someone else. It's yours. It's not yours, but that's what you are. You are a vision that is not the vision, the eyes that see the world. Yeah, let's call it awareness. Yeah. So, so he says, all right, reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours must make no sense to you. And if it makes sense to you, you're not that you. Do you see? I mean, if you have value in the Course in Miracles and you read this statement and it says this world makes no sense to you, well, then the you it's making a whole lot of sense to, yes, must not be you. Yes. I mean, it's obvious. If if the head is constantly making sense of what's going on, yeah, and believing it, there's another, it's a very strong hint it's not you. Yeah. So, all right, to whom would seeing such as this send back its messages? And then there's a question mark. Surely not you. So when someone says surely, they're really questioning how you could not see this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if they, surely you saw that stop sign, or surely you saw what was going on. Yeah. They're just amazed. How could you not see what's happening? So he's basically, whatever it is going, he's getting a little snappy, actually. It's like, it's only on page 468. It's pretty much had it with its readership. You know what I mean? Come on. Surely not you. I've given you tons of descriptions earlier. You know, I mean, I can't be as clear, I can't be more clear than this. Surely not you. So,
Who are you reading, Paul?
Course in Miracles. So, to whom would seeing such as this send back its messages? Surely not you. Whose sight? All right. So now they do say, they now do, he's now describing a condition that we are. Yeah. And that is, uh, surely not you, whose sight is wholly independent of the eyes that look upon the world. So that's a description of us, yeah, of what we are. Mostly they're describing what we're not, but now they're describing what we are, which is we have a vision, and this is the Course, you know, whose sight is wholly independent. So our vision, not the ones, not the vision of the eyes that see the world, but our vision, unbeknownst to many of us, but it's not unbeknownst to that which is downloading in this book. Yeah. So our vision, and it's shared, right, in a way, whose sight is surely not you, or yeah, whose sight is wholly independent of the eyes that look upon the world. Okay. So there must be a possibility where you're sitting that in maybe another kind of form of listening that you could listen to something else than the basic visual report that keeps coming back to you sent by the brain, which is how it's seeing seeing with the eyes that see this world. Yeah. We have another vision possible, maybe another channel, maybe like a 20G or whatever, not a 5G or whatever. Yes, there's a possibility. And he's saying it's very clearly available right now because it's of us. Yeah. It's of us. It's a completely unsuspected resource because we're looking for things with the eyes that see the world. And what we really are not, we are otherworldly. So, like Jesus says, you're in this world, but you're not of this world. Yeah. So, being in this world, the eyes report what it's like to be in this world, but we have a vision independent of those eyes. That is the vision of what we are of. Yeah. So, we are of somewhere that's quite different than where we seem to be in. Yeah. And maybe the eyes are a good guide here so you don't run into things and shit, but they're a terrible guide concerning where we're of. Yeah. They are blind to where we're of while they're looking constantly in where we seem to be in. Yeah. But not only, it's not the in that we seem to be is not of the of that we are. The action figure isn't going to become a super action figure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Tongue twister.
yeah, I can't, don't ask me to repeat it. I've lost it already, but whose sight is wholly independent of the eyes that look upon the world. If this is not your vision, just it didn't say it. It's not saying it's not your vision. It says if. So what possibilities could occur if this is not your vision? If this is not your vision, what can it show to you? It's not your vision. That's the whole point. Yeah. The whole point of this vision, you may think it's for a lot of other stuff. On one level, the whole point of this whole vision, this whole way of looking at everything is to see, right, that it's failed. Yes. These eyes are not up to seeing where we're from. They're not incapable. Yeah. The action figures walking around, running into tons of shit, never rub shoulder with the omnipresent, omniscient, all powerful. It's totally blind to that, but it's going over seeming grievances for 50 years. Yes, but it's missing. It's completely missing the forest from the trees. It's just, but that's its job. Yeah. You're not going to whip it into another condition. It's programmed. Yeah. And when it hits its limit, it all it does is back up and try again. And then it it doesn't realize I can't go over the wall. It says, I'm just going to use this now. Buddhism and then Kabbalahism and paganism when you get upset and frustrated, all this stuff. And it just keeps on keeping on. You're standing there waiting for it to change, let's say, and it's not. The dead horse is dead. It's you putting the new saddle you got for Christmas on it isn't going to revive it. It's dead. So here it says, what can a failed system show you? It's failed. That's the whole point. The whole point. Non-duality is hoping that the person that's hearing it is ready to greet the news that it's everything it's done is totally failed. Yeah. And in AA, it's a very bad place. In AA, it says, what who wants to admit complete defeat? But that's the whole point. Yeah. When there's the admittance of complete defeat, there's a possibility I am not that which is defeated. Yes, finally. When you're denying you're that which is defeated, defeat continues. Yes, it continues. When you finally realize it, I'm never going to get it. Hallelujah. You'll come to peace in this moment. Yeah, not because you reached the goal. It's you stopped. You're not that which is reaching the goal or trying to grab the goal. That's all. The appearance of your shadow trying to grab the sun will continue, but you will be much more solid than that. Yeah. Yeah. So what can a failed system show you it's failed? What do we do every satsang? Yeah. Do you think the head will put up with tons of years of loss with the hopes that it can be there to experience its own absence? It will. Yeah, it doesn't really care how great the party is. It's much more important for it to be at the party or not. Yes. It's just the cherishing of self is a very strong magnetic event here. That's the only way this whole charade could be kept in place. It's always spinning out of completely going into absence, but the thinking and the feeling and going over and over and over and everything, we just keep. It's like watering a plastic plant. You just keep. It's on and on. Yeah. So, and you're not doing it. That's why it's great news. You can let yourself see the truth because you're not the fucking purveyor of the falsehood. You're fucking not. This isn't about I'd rather not be free and delay the guilt of being have done all this stuff. I'd rather just forget the freedom. Forget. I just don't want that all day. Yes. And of course, if you believe you did shit and you had something to do with it, you may not want to hear about it. Yes. But this relieves you of that ownership. You're not that. You're not that which holds opinions. You're not that which says, I got to stop holding opinions. You're not that, period. Yeah. And you'll find a relief that's not available with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's just not available. Yeah. The Dr. Jekyll says it is when I'm Mr. Hyde, and Mr. Hyde saying it is when I'm Dr. Jekyll. But they can never get it lined up. When they want to be Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. When they want to be Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll. You can't get the two-ness aligned. You can't. Yeah. So this is so beautiful, literally. So what can it, all right, the brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. Not to, it interprets away all day what your eyes see, but it cannot interpret what your vision sees. This is also something we should know. Yeah. This isn't like a switch in interpretation. It's not. Yes. Now, the old interpretation doesn't even have to change. There's just a loss of interest in it, really. And the new interpretation, let's just say, doesn't look at all like the old interpretation. Yeah. So the brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. This you would understand. Oh, he's saying it in a nicer way than surely. You know, this you should understand. It's emphasizing this point. Yeah. So that it can be put to rest. Yeah. If you're relying something so completely and it can't do what you're hoping it can do, in a weird way, if there's a person, the problem's on you, not on the system. The system has showed you it's failed. It has. It has hit all the ceilings it can hit and all the walls it can hit that defined it. Yeah. When are you going to get the message? Or just hope just burns eternal. Somehow. That's why I believe people want saviors. They want someone to come into the ceiling and the walled little definition, and they want someone that they can pray isn't in this wall and thing to come down through the ceiling and take us all out. Yeah. And that would be great if the fairy tale was a truthful situation, but it isn't. You and I are not that which is in walls and ceilings. That's why saviors usually fail, because you don't need to be saved. What you take yourself to be needs to be saved. It does. Yeah. We can't imagine us doing it, so we pray for something to come in and break through all the shit we can't break through, take its great time out and save our asses. And then we don't give a care if 98% of the other people are fucking just, burned in hell flames, but we're going to be one of the chosen ones. It's insane. It's just mental meanderings in the prison. Yeah. So the brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. Huge period. Yes. I'm telling you, some of these statements you could use in so many conversations. Someone's going off on something and you just go out of the blue. Hey, the brain interprets to the body of which it is a part, or the brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. What? Yeah. Hang up. Wait a minute. What? Yeah, that's it. No more. Just no more. Just, yeah, just put a stop to it. The brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. You can't get more clearer than that. Yeah. It's a double whack. It says the brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. So in that sense, it's useless. It can't interpret awareness. It cannot interpret it. It can interpret things moving as things away or close to things, and then having some huge thing called space between a lot of shit. And then, yeah. So it doesn't sense the space at all, really. It just watches the things, watch the things of the thoughts and things. Yeah. And that's what it has. That's its vision. It cannot interpret the vision of the awareness. Yeah.
No.
So then he goes, okay, there's one. Your head cannot interpret what your vision surely sees. Okay. That seems like a big defect, I would say, or a disability. Yeah. It's sort of like having a crutch that doesn't keep you up. You would hope a crutch would keep you up. If someone finally told you, hey, that crutch isn't keeping you up. Yeah. So that's the first one. I'm going to say it again. The brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. That you would understand. Yeah. The brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. Yeah. Yeah. It's not like the brain somewhere else, seemingly. Seems like something's coming in through the senses, and something seems to be collating it and emphasizing some and not, and the algorithm don't. It's a little off, so it keeps sending me hernia belt sales after I haven't had a hernia in 20 years. But, it's just off, you know what I mean? And then, all right. But what it says you cannot understand. Wow. Yet you have listened to it. You remember how many songs that you used to sing that you had the words wrong? Remember when you were a kid, like a Led Zeppelin song, and then you were saying it and someone else heard it once. What? And then you describe, and that's not what the song says. That has nothing to do with it. So 20 years I'm singing, the way you are. Yeah. We did it with, innocently because of our accent. We had a thing we used to say a lot, the seeker is the sought, SOUGHT. But I ran into a person and he'd been listening for years and he finally had me live. So he says, I still don't get that statement. The seeker is the sword, SWORD. And I go, no, it's sought, SOUGHT. So he was thinking the seeker is the sword. What the fuck going on for 8 years? Yeah. So this thing, this, the brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. That you would understand. All right. So do you feel like you need guidance? Yeah. Could you imagine that there's, let's say, two worlds in a sense? There's the one that the eyes can see, and it's pretty good with when you're driving the car and shit like that. You see things, the lights and everything. But then there's another aspect of being here that it can't see shit. These eyes are useless in that other space, so to speak. Yeah. Do you want to keep blaming the eyes for failing when it can't see at all? Yeah. Or maybe just find a great value in the recognition of its failure and open up to that other vision. Why not? Yeah. Yeah. The eyes have their job here, but it's not equipped to see what the awareness sees. Yeah. This is why when people are given awareness like radical awareness and pure awareness, that's from the eyes of the world, trying to describe awareness. I don't think there's like a grade of awareness called pure and then like super high pure, maybe, or 80% pure. I don't see that. Yeah. But the eyes of that see the world would. They see things with different degrees of value. Yeah. But I don't believe that can be applied to awareness. So, but again, the brain interprets to the body of which it is a part, but what it says you cannot understand. So that which is understanding it incredibly well isn't you. Do you get this? He's given you a boomerang move, or like hitting the ball that's behind the eight ball without hitting the eight ball. So it's describing what it can't do or what is completely misled. So when you see that, you can put it in the not you category. Your freedom may be moment to moment. And after a while, the stuff when it comes up will just go to the non-you category. You won't even have to go to the recycling and put it in. The shit will go there on their own. They know the bogusness of it. It goes in. Yeah. So here, the brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. But what it says you cannot understand. So if you're understanding your head completely, that's really fucking scary. It is. And this really puts to a lot of suspicion other people that are working, trying to interpret your head. Yeah. Yeah. I feel a lot of people fall under the category of unhealed healers. And there can be a lot of healing through an unhealed healer as long as it doesn't think it's a healed healer. Yes. If you admit you're an unhealed healer, healing can come through. Yes. Yeah, I believe. So, but what it's saying kind of, yet you have listened to it. And long and hard, you tried to understand its messages. Yeah. I gave up with that a while ago. Because even if you understand it, it doesn't quench any thirst. It really doesn't. It's like uh, it's like giving a menu to someone who's hungry. Yeah, you can read what it would be like to get that hamburger, but you didn't get the hamburger. You can't live on menu alone. Yeah, you have to have some sense feltness occur occasionally. So you have not realized it is impossible to understand what entirely reaches you. You have received no messages at all you understand, for you have listened to what can never communicate at all. It really can't. It can report, yeah. It can't communicate. For you have listened to what can never communicate at all. Think then what happens. Wow, I would just say, yeah. All right, think then what happens. Okay, if I'm following this description, which they are, yeah, it's been a nice description, a little bit of what we are, a lot about what we're not. And then it gets to this point where it says, think then what happens. Okay, denying what you are. I swear this always gets me because if you would stop anyone right now and go, what are you doing? I don't think any of them would say denying what I am. I just don't see it. I think I could be on the street with a microphone and make infinite amount of videos and not once would the person say denying what I am. I don't, it's just impossible. I just don't see that coming. Yeah. At the halftime at a football game, what are you doing right now? Denying what I am. What? Well, that's pretty good. So, denying what you are. So, this is an act that we don't know we're doing, obviously. Obviously, we're under an effect that we have no idea is going on. So, at this moment, the head activity is denying what we are. Yeah. Now, that's what's going on. And not only that, firm in faith that you are something else. Okay, so What's the starting point? Well, my stomach hurts a little bit. My eyes hurt. I looked at myself, don't look too good. No, that's not the starting point. Uh, yeah, I woke up and I stretched. That's not the starting point. The starting point is denying what you are and firm in faith in this something else. What? This they're telling you right here. They're trying to inform of what's going us to what's going on and what they believe is going on, and especially on the mental realm. The mental realm is in the act of denying what we are, which it's in that act all day. Yeah, that's its job in a sense. Yeah, to affirm what it's not, it has to deny what we are. Yeah, it's just impossible because what we're not can't stand on anything. It's standing on the I am. The idea that Paul is standing on its own is complete bullshit. Paul is standing on the I am. The I am is not of Paul. I am this, and then there's I am Paul. And now Paul is the denial of the I am. Did you ever read a description from Raman or anyone of I am? Did it have a little empty space and then said, fill in with your name? No, it wasn't I am. And then for someone with a long name had a, no, it was just I am, that I am. It wasn't I am Paul, that I'm going to be. I know I am that I am. No, no Paul, no Mary, no Sue. Yes. So, and then we look at that and we go, well, the I am is really denying what I am. Where's Paul in it? Come on, it should be inclusive. It should be super inclusive. I want that thing. I'm going to write a new book with I am and then with a little where you could write your name down. Yeah. But in fact, denying what we are and what else? Obviously, it's always a dualistic movement. Denying what you are, bing, the ping goes back into firm in faith in this something else that your head has made to be yourself. It says that you have made to be yourself. I don't believe that. So I believe this is a perfect description. Denying what you are and firm in faith that you are something else. This something else that you have made to be yourself, I would take that out. This something else, yeah, has now become your sight. This something else is obviously seen as a thing that has eyes, that facilitates a sight here. But what we are is independent of these eyes that facilitate this sight here. So obviously, it would be insane to use these eyes to look for what we're actually seeing from, which is awareness. Isn't it? It'd be insane to use these eyes to try to find that. Yeah. So denying what you are and firm in faith that you are this something else your head has made to be yourself. That's how I would put it. Yeah. Yeah. Yet it must be this something else that sees and as not you very clearly. Yeah. There is seeing. There is. There's seeing going on. Yeah. It must be this something else that sees. Yes. And as not you explains its sight to you. There you go. There's the narrative of self-centeredness. Yes. So it's all built. It has a built-in radio station. It's all made up. Yeah. Has its premise, hides its premise, makes a radio station. Now you listen to K Paul or K Chris the rest of your life. Yeah. Running on the battery of I am, but the emphasis is on Paul and Chris and go on and on and on and on and on and on. So it says here so beautifully, it must be the something else that sees and as not you, as not you. So something that's explaining to you in your head is not you. It just says it here. If people come and talk to me, they are totally into the Course of Miracles. This is the Course of Miracles. It must be the something else that sees and as not you explains its sight to you. What is that but the narrative of the day? It's, oh, it's a rare, no, it's what's happening during the day. We're listening to a narration of a life that's not ours. It's just, it's a mental little description of it. And that which is not us is describing it to us as us. Yeah. We play the role of the audience. Yeah. And it plays the other roles. Yeah. So it must be this something else. So that's a pretty strong statement. It must be. Yeah. It must be that something else that sees and as not you explains its sight to you. Now, this is so beautiful because I think this is where we can all sit down. Your vision would, of course, render that quite unnecessary. So when there's reliance on the awareness, it makes a lot of this bullshit unnecessary. And you finally start recognizing the unnecessariness of it. You do. You stop pumping in drama and excitement and interest in it, and you see it's fucking boring in a lot of ways. It's just rehashing, re-feeling, rethinking, redoing, on and on and on and on. Yeah. So it must be this something else that sees and as not you explains its sight to you. Your vision, which is us, awareness, yeah. Let's say awareness would, of course, make this quite unnecessary. Yet if your eyes are closed, meaning the awareness, and you have called upon this thing to lead you, asking it to explain to you the world it sees, you have no reason not to listen. Obviously, you've given up the reins of the life, and you'd rather just be sit back and listen to that which constantly talking about it all fucking day. Yeah. You've called this thing to lead you, asking it to explain to you the world it sees. You have no reason not to listen. Well, we do now. Everyone in this room has a reason not to listen because you've been introduced, you've been invited to see what's going on, not from what's going on, but from what's before that which is going on. Yeah. Give it a good look over, and you'll probably recognize not that, not that, not that, not that. Yeah. If your eyes are closed and you have called upon this thing to lead you, and asking it to explain to you the world it sees, you have no reason not to listen, nor to suspect that what it tells you is not true. Well, now you do. Yeah. Now that you've heard a description of this, do you really believe it's a description of you? I don't. Yeah. If it's a description of you, you as you know very little about you. If this is you, and you don't have any fucking idea than this, then that's a big problem. So there's a whole lot of you that the you doesn't know. What's one to do? Surrender, maybe. You know. Are you gonna get it really? Do you think the new thing this year is gonna do it? DMT6 or DMT8 or ayahuasca with a little bit of seltzer in it. I want to have sparkling ayahuasca. I don't want natural ayahuasca. I want sparkling, carbonated. I mean, it's fun. I love adventures and experiences, but they have their incredible limitation. They always seem to include you in them. I think that's what you're trying to get out of, aren't you? Really? I'm telling you, the best way to get out of what you're not in is not through experience. It's not, that is not a good gate to enter. You already have enough experiences to prove something that you sure want to get out of something because you're doing a lot of shit to get out of it. Yes. But the whole point is why would you try to get out of what you're not in? Yeah. What's fueling the drive to experience doesn't get that primary point. It doesn't start with I'm not in. It believes it's in something. It believes so strongly it's in something, it really will do almost anything to get out of it. Yeah. Yeah. That's why a guy rides 10-foot waves, and then it's sort of a subtle demand to ride 20-foot waves, and then on 30-foot waves, and then ride backwards or put a jet ski underneath or something. And it goes on because you're that ravenous, hungry, ghost-like attitude of this program won't be satiated through experience. Just won't. Yeah. It's never going to be satiated. It will say it will be if you just get the right pumpkin pie, but it won't. It just it won't. It just it's insatiable. It's like the hungry ghost in Tibetan Buddhism. The small mouth trying to get a food for a huge belly. Can't get enough. It's incapable. Yeah. So I think this is one of the. I haven't read this book. I am not a student of the Course in Miracles. I have great respect for it, but I'm a believer that this is just meant to bring about something that may not have a cover of it. Yes, just more of a living sense of something. Yeah, and for that, it's done a great job. And I haven't read it all, but this, I don't even know how I ran into this, but this to me is one of the best descriptions of the activity of what we're not a description like a dead forensic description, but it's actually describing how the mental activity is going through these movements to build this event of I am Paul, which it has to, and it's all imaginary, and it has to reinforce it usually because it can't stand on it. It doesn't have any legs to stand on, so it's constantly get flooded with thoughts about stuff and everything because something that isn't so to appear to be so takes a lot of work. It's hard to keep that image in place when there isn't a real thing. It isn't so. But something that's so is so. It has a distinct different quality than what's not so appearing to be so. That what's not so appearing to be so is appearing in a world of seemingly so. It's a world where something appears to be true or not to us. Yes. But in the so-ness, there's nothing like that. It just is, as they say, I am that I am, or as in the old Irishman mafia music, it is what it is. Yeah. Now, if I got killed, I'd be super pissed, but Arnie gets killed, it is what it is. Jimmy, it is what it is. Vito, it is what it is. Whoa, wait a minute. All right. Well, I'm stoked for another day. I am. It's just sometimes it's not readily available, but I can just dive into this and it always gets me going because I just love clear descriptions of what we're not. I have so many people, not anymore. No one calls me anymore. I've trained everyone really well, but I used to get a lot of calls and people describing their condition over and over again, only to get another call describing the condition over and over again. This gets more to the meat of the matter. Yeah. What's actually going on before what's going on starts with you? You and I are on a delay, a huge delay. Yeah. when we seem to become conscious, there's been a lot of machinery going on for a second or two, really. And it has the whole system set up for us to fall, just uh, ski down that hill once again. You got the mittens on, you got the poles, okay. There you go. There's so much going on. Like, did you ever really feel that right now there's an act of denying what you are? I never, to the life of me, that never came up. Yeah. But maybe that's exactly what the head is up to right now. Yeah. Denying what you are. And then the faith, that's such the force of manifestation. It's directing the faith into this story. That's how it keeps going. There's faith in it. Just like they talk about the stock market and shit. If enough people lost faith in it, it would collapse. This whole place is made up. What, they just have make up numbers and accounts on, yeah. If people just said this is fucking unreal and they were serious or not, it would just collapse because it's unreal. If we as reality really, as a combination of us's, got together and really realized this ain't unreal, it would just collapse because it's not it hasn't been real ever. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, we'll open it up and yeah. If not, I thank the Course in Miracles for inspiring me once again. Yes. Huang Po, Ramana Maharshi, Wei Wu Wei, Ramesh Balsekar. There's others I've missed probably, but yeah. The thing is ravenous inside of us also. There is something, the knowing is like an animal that hasn't been petted in a long time. Yeah. If the knowing will just light up when it's paid attention to. Not the knowledge that we've acquired, but the knowing. Yeah. It just needs a little. I just watched this cool thing from a moose sanctuary up in the Canadian wild. I have some wild YouTube feeds, and there was this kid that I've been seeing him on these videos. He's been working there for a while, and he's with this huge female moose just standing there, and the moose is just nuzzling with him because he's petting the moose. I'm sure a lot of female mooses never get petted, their moose life, really. And there it was, and it was just leaning into it, and the guy was petting it because their hoofs they're not the same. The hoofs, they got a hand, and it was such a beautiful thing. And so here's a knowing that gets stroked by satsang. Yeah, uh those notes are going to be like bubbles coming from the bottom, and they're going to pop, and there'll be a feeling of like a spitzer, when they give you a spitzer, they spray a little water on you. It's sort of like that. I think it's the spritzer, something like that. They spring it, sort of, wow, I feel refreshed, like a flower drooping. You think it's over, but you put water in, the next day it's back. It just needed some water. Yeah, it looked like a Ghana. The next day, wow, yeah, we just did it. It was looking.
Look at it now.
That's why, yeah, it's in the process of coming back because he just gave water this morning. So yeah, this knowing is truly the reliability. And I feel in my case, non-duality is what a lot of things helped. There's no way I could have ever had any expression in this life of this message if I wasn't sober. So, in first things first, in time, sobriety was necessary. But after that, non-duality has been the most just I didn't believe from my experience in life that there was a last answer. It always seemed to lead to something else shit you had to do. And this has been the last answer for a long, long time. And it was an important topic to me, getting out or spirituality. It was. I didn't. This place is all right, but I just wouldn't see this as like a vacation spot of the universe. You know what I mean? Earth, and with people and how everyone's treated at times by each other. It's yeah. So yeah, that's it. Oh, I see Hiram came out. It must be the end of satsang when he wakes up. I watch him, and when he starts waking up, I know that's the end of the satsang. Thank you. You're like a clock for me.
Oh, you might be in the trail.
No, he's here. Yeah. Yeah. I check every day to see if he's in the trailer. Hiram, are you in here? Yeah. All right, let's start saying goodbye. Vlad. We all say hello to you, Vlad. We have a lot of Vlad admirers here. I think Amelia's over there and so yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we have a big Vlad fan club. Yes. We got Kerry as always at the mouth of the volcano. Yeah. Oh, there it's going. Wow. Richard Ascot, our man in London. Yeah. I met Richard and Vlad at the similar time. Yeah. Stephen Mack on having never left. Mike Clark, our man in Mexico. Yes. I don't get any reports from you. I'm very happy about that. Yeah. Chris H. We got Matthew in the UK. Always a pleasure, Matthews. Sober. I had a great, to be personal a little bit. Uh, my oldest sister's oldest son has been going in and out for years. He's like now 60 something years old. And when I went back east, I saw him and he's still doing good. They gave him an apartment. The requirement is he can't drink and use, and he seems to be, he really feels like it's over with the drinking and using, and like it doesn't feel any compulsion. So I was very stoked to hear that in the spirit of my sister Carol. Yeah, so you know, there's no big or little relief. There's a joy when anyone enjoys a little bit of relief anywhere, I feel. I really do. And to have, what I feel is unnecessary burden be lifted, it's just a great feeling. So he can enjoy football on tomorrow in his own apartment without people banging on it, looking for him for some digression or something. Yeah, I think you just can't pull it off after in the 60s. I mean, Jesus, trucking around near the railroad station and shit. No. All right, so Kerry, Richard Ascot, Stephen Mack, Chris H. He's getting ready, man. Santa Claus. Saraswati, as always. Anu, always nice to see Anu. Yeah. She's like a rare flower. I gotta enjoy my time with her. Alan Olson. It was always a great pleasure to meet Alan over in Italy. Yeah, we've sort of known each other through this for a while. Annette, I'm so happy you have shelter and everything else. Yeah, yes. Jamie, and don't, whatever the head says, just read what we just read. What the head's just constantly trying to understand something that escapes you, literally. Yeah. Jamie. Rania, aka Hiram, aka canoe owner, aka, yeah, some other things. Diona Fuson, always with you, Diona. You're a lifetime member. Greg Shandera down in Minneapolis somewhere. We got Rick Rowe in Toronto. Heather, she's on the on the treadmill or something. I don't know. Yeah. JP Sola. Wow. Elizabeth H. in Colorado. Nice to meet you, Elizabeth. Kathleen in Hudson Valley. Pass a good up word for your sister, Julie. Yeah. Elisa, Pennsylvania. Chris Snap in Lexington, Kentucky. Isn't that amazing that we can share from all these different places? Pretty cool. I can't get to the second page. I'll just have to say hello to everyone. Thank you so much. We'll be here. The same routine. We're going to have a live meeting down in Joshua Tree. I think it's going to be January 9th or 10th. The 10th. We'll post it. So if you're in LA area or San Diego area, we're going to have a house near the entrance of the south entrance of Joshua Tree. So we'll put that information up. And I hope to see some of you live and